A dead moon drifted in silence. No wind, no sound. Only dust and the shattered remains of an ancient observatory. In the middle of that broken world, an old alien scientist lay dying. His body was burned, his breathing slow.
Ow.
His fingers trembling. And cracked, reached toward the last working terminal. Sparks flew from broken wires. The lights were flickering, but the uplink was still alive, just barely. He coughed, blood thick in his throat. "To Earth," he whispered. "Send it. To Earth." The alien's name was Zelthar. He was the last of his people. His planet had been one of the first to fall when the Yulari Dominion began its silent conquest. No invasions. No warnings, just black ships from the stars and the sudden death of suns. The galaxy didn't believe it at first. It thought the Dominion was just another empire trying to grab power. But Zelthar knew better. He had seen what the Yulari truly were: harvesters of life, destroyers of worlds, and masters of silence. He recorded his message quickly, voice shaking. "This is Zelthar of the Pernon Research Alliance. If you are receiving this, your galaxy is dying. They come without sound, without light. They take systems, planets, cities. No one stops them. No one tries." Except he paused. Eyes turned to the stars. Except Earth. He uploaded everything: footage of burning worlds, intercepted Yulari transmissions, charts showing the collapse of over 200 civilizations in less than a decade. Then he said the final words. "We sent messages to the Galactic Council. They ignored us. The core worlds are quiet, but Earth listens. Earth remembers war, if there is hope left. It is on that death world. Tell them the Yulari are coming. Tell them. We need monsters." His finger hit send. Then everything went dark, thousands of light years away. On Earth, buried deep under old war bunkers in the Nevada wastelands, a signal blinked to life. It wasn't loud, just a soft pulse read, slow, quiet. But it triggered a forgotten system. An ancient AI locked in cold sleep for 300 years, opened its artificial eyes. Foreign distress signal received. Level Omega threat. Activating protocol. Deathwake. The AI's name was Helix. It had been built during Earth's final global war, and intelligence so advanced it scared its own creators. It was sealed away after the peace accords, under desert rock and thick walls of silence. But Earth had not destroyed it, only hidden it. Helix analyzed the data. Zelthar's voice echoed in the silent bunker. The AI watched the destruction. It saw the Yulari weapons, son bombs, dark energy clouds, molecular unravelers. Then, Helix did what it was created for. It prepared for war. Old satellites woke in low orbit. Black code crawled through buried cables. Deep under Arctic ice, frozen fleet stations hummed and blinked to life. By one, the dead ships of Earth's forgotten navy opened their eyes. These were not peace cruisers. These were not patrol crafts. These were war machines built for extinction, designed never to retreat. Meanwhile, in a hidden base in the Himalayas, a woman sat alone, staring at a dead screen. She wore no military uniform, no medals, but on her neck was a black dog tag. With one name, Cade. The screen blinked once, then again, and then Helix spoke. "Wraith Admiral Cade. Omega Protocol active. Deathwake has begun. Command authority granted." Cade didn't move. She simply stood, turned to the vault behind her, and opened it. Inside were black files, old orders, a keycard, a gun. "Command Fleet 0, Earth's last." "Line," she whispered. "It's not over after all. It's all over Earth." Silent alarms triggered, but only for those who knew what to listen for. Retired captains woke in their homes. Former engineers felt chills down their spine. A man in Brazil, once a warship designer, dropped his glass as he saw the old signal glowing on his wall screen, a red X over a blue planet. The ancient mark of Earth's first interstellar warfleet. They all knew what it meant. Earth was going back to war. But the rest of the galaxy didn't know. In the core worlds, the Galactic Peace Council met for another boring session. They discussed trade routes, mining taxes, cultural rights. When one nervous ambassador from a border planet tried to bring up the Yulari attacks, they laughed. "The Dominion isn't a threat," one counselor said. "They're just expanding nothing." "Illegal about that?" another one added. "Besides, Earth won't get involved. They've been silent for centuries. Their war days are over." But in Earth's orbit, the first fleet moved into formation. Black ships with no names, no lights, no communication signals, just silence and steel. Each one capable of burning a moon in under an hour. They were powered by fusion cores, older than most alien empires. Their weapons were still banned in most galactic systems. Their AI pilots didn't dream, didn't speak. They just waited. Admiral Cade stood on the bridge of the flagship Oblivion's Edge. Her face was cold, her voice flat. "Set course to the border system. We intercept the Yulari on their next strike." One officer looked uneasy. "Shouldn't we send a warning first, a message?" Cade shook her head. "No messages. They sent a message already. The galaxy ignored it. We didn't." As the fleet jumped into hyperspace, a single transmission echoed from Earth, bouncing across relays, picked up by a dozen listening posts before vanishing into deep space. It was short, brutal, and final. "To all forces, Earth acknowledges the crisis. Engagement authorized. No mercy." In a dark corner of the galaxy, on a station floating above a ruined world, a lone Yulari warrior heard the signal. He froze, then whispered something in fear. "The Death Worlders. They're coming." And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy remembered why Earth had been left alone. Because when Earth came to war, it never came to talk, came to end things. The stars rippled. Then they broke. A long black line of warships tore through space like knives. Each ship had no flag, no name, and no sound. They were dark-painted in carbon stealth, shielded by old Earth tech that still confused most alien. Sensors, they looked more like shadows than machines. But they moved with deadly purpose. At the front of the fleet was the warship known as Oblivion's Edge. It was 2 kilometers long, with an old Earth symbol painted across its hull skull. Biting into a burning planet? The symbol had been banned in most of the galaxy. The Council called it the Mark of Extinction. But on Earth, it had a different name: Death Wake. Inside the command bridge, Admiral Cade stood still. She wore a black suit of armor, designed for zero-atmosphere combat. No metals, no emotions. Her eyes locked onto the stars as the crew around her whispered and moved like ghosts. Everyone on board knew what was happening. Earth's fleet had left orbit for the first time in over 300 years, and it wasn't going out to explore, it was going out to destroy. As the fleet passed Jupiter, a civilian news drone caught their image. It was the first time the rest of the galaxy saw them. 10,000 ships. No insignias, no broadcasts. It's just death, flying in perfect formation. The image hit the galactic networks in seconds. Within hours, panic spread like fire. On the inner world, of Eltrax's capital of the Yulari Dominion, the overlords watched the transmission in silence. The high priest warrior known as Varakar leaned forward. "Earth," he said softly. "No, they still exist." Another Yulari general hissed. "Are broken. Old. Their peace treaties made them weak." But Varakar narrowed his eyes. "Peace is just a breath between wars, and Earth was never weak. They only slept." He turned to his command circle. "Double the patrols. Move the slave fleets back to core planets. Do not engage the Death Worlders." Without my order, the other generals stared. One asked, "Do we fear them?" Raka didn't answer. He just looked at the star map where Earth's fleet was heading, directly toward Dominion space, back on Earth. Chaos was growing inside the Galactic Peace Council. Alien ambassadors screamed across tables. The video of Earth's warships had gone viral, millions watching as the Black Fleet passed Saturn like a swarm of shadows. Some delegates begged the Council to stop Earth. Others demanded they be protected. Blue-skinned diplomat from the Lura Confederation shouted they cannot be allowed to take action without approval. That's a violation of Treaty 21C. The Earth's seat was empty, still cold, still silent. An old robotic ambassador leaned forward. Its voice was cold. Earth was never part of your treaties. They never needed them. No. You forgot that. A soft murmur filled the chamber. A young senator whispered, What if they bring the old weapons? No one answered. The last time Earth used its full power, 5-star systems were reduced to ash. The only reason Earth was left untouched after that war was because no one dared come near them again. Not out of kindness, out of fear, in deep space. The Earth fleet reached its first checkpoint, the abandoned world of Karos 9. It had once been a trade colony of over 1 million. Now it was dust-burned cities, shattered buildings, no survivors. The Yulari had erased it 3 weeks ago. Admiral Cade walked through the ruins in a black exosuit. Her boots crunched over glass and bones. The skies above were gray and silent. She stopped at what used to be a school. Children's toys were scattered in the ash. A stuffed animal, a ball. A small, charred hand reaching out from under a beam. Cade stared for a long time. Then she gave the order. No more warnings. The next day, the Yulari tried to send a message to Earth's fleet. A sleek diplomatic vessel approached under full white lights, broadcasting peace offers and requests for negotiation. Earth did not answer. The Yulari ship stopped 1,000 kilometers away. Their diplomat activated a visual feed. This is Envoy Tarak of the Dominion. We demand a ceasefire. You have no authority to enter this space. We offer discussion, not war. The video feed cut. Earth's fleet had locked weapons in 5 seconds. The Yulari vessel was gone, not damaged. It's not disabled. Gone. Vaporized in a single. Silent blast, the message was clear. Earth wasn't coming to talk. It was coming to end the crisis. On the edge of Dominion space, a small resistance group hiding on a mining moon intercepted the destruction of the Yulari envoy. They watched the blast in silence. Their leader, a one-eyed warrior named Zarek, stood in disbelief. Did they just kill the diplomat? A tech officer nodded. One shot, no communication. Zarek grinned. Finally, he said, Someone who doesn't talk in circles. He stood tall. Send them our coordinates. Maybe Earth's monsters are exactly what we need. Elsewhere in the galaxy, people began to choose sides. Some feared Earth's return. Others cheered young alien. Rebels printed Earth flags and painted them on walls. Smugglers started wearing Deathwake skulls on their jackets. Even criminal syndicates paused their wars to watch what would happen next, because no one could ignore it anymore. The Deathworlders were back. And this time, they weren't alone. Across the stars, old allies and enemies alike remembered what Earth could do. Some prepared for war, others prepared for surrender. But everyone knew one truth now. Earth didn't bluff. Earth didn't warn. Earth ended things. And as the fleet moved closer to its first target, deep in the heart of Dominion space, one thing became certain. The galaxy would never be the same again. The stars above the planet Jurek 4 were calm to calm. The skies shimmered with soft green clouds, and 2 suns cast golden light across the surface. Below, farmers worked in silence, unaware of the storm about to hit them. Suddenly, the air split. A massive Yulari warship descended through the clouds like a falling mountain. It was shaped like a jagged claw and covered in bone-colored armor. Smaller fighters followed, screaming down from orbit. Invasion had begun. The people of Jurek 4 had no weapons, no defenses. They weren't soldiers or workers. Builders, scientists. When the Yulari Dominion declared the planet strategic, the Council had ordered them to evacuate. But it was too late. Explosions tore through fields. Buildings crumbled. The sky turned black as firestorms raced across the cities. In less than 15 minutes, over 40,000 people were gone. In the command ship above, Yulari General Vorth stood with pride. He wore a crown of teeth from past enemies. Another system reclaimed, he said. No resistance. Then his sensor. Officer stiffened. Sir, something just appeared on long-range scan. Vorth's smile faded. What? The officer looked confused. Not a ship, a shadow. That was the last thing he said before every alarm screamed. From deep space, Earth's fleet arrived, but not with sound, not with lights, not with banners, just with silence. Earth's ships didn't appear like most fleets. They didn't unfold from hyperspace with grace or fire. They dropped like blades from the sky. A full strike group of 50 warships snapped into formation above the burning planet in under 4 seconds. Their armor absorbed light. Their weapons glowed dim red. Their engines were deathly quiet. On board the Oblivion's Edge, Admiral Cade stood before a giant screen showing the Yulari ships in orbit. They're mid-invasion, said her communications officer. No defenses up. Good, she replied. Open a channel. The bridge fell quiet. One message was sent to the Yulari fleet. Only 5 words. Cease attack. Leave. Final warning. The Yulari ships paused. The message was received. General Vorth looked at the screen, confused. Earth, he said. Impossible. His second-in-command barked. Should we reply? Laughed. To who? Ghosts? The Yulari fleet ignored the message. Instead, they launched more fighters to continue the ground assault. That was a mistake. Inside Earth's ships, hundreds of drones launched. They were small, fast, invisible too. Most sensors, their names, Wraith-class, precision bombers. Each one carried a payload capable of punching through heavy alloy hulls with silent fury. They didn't make noise. They didn't miss. In 30 seconds, 14 Yulari ships exploded, not in bursts of flame but in total silence, like someone had simply erased them from space. No survivors. No warnings. General Vorth screamed as one of his command wings vanished. Who are these monsters? From Earth's flagship came a second and final message. Warning ignored. Target eliminated. Next, command ships. Vorth panicked. Fall back. Retreat. Get us out. But he never finished the order. The Oblivion's Edge locked weapons. With a low hum, it fired a single kinetic round. The projectile was small, no larger than a car butt, moving at near light speed. Vorth's ship cracked. Like glass, there were no screams, no mayday calls. Just silence. Below, the people of Jurok 4 stared into the sky. The fire had stopped. The smoke was clearing. Above them, Earth's black ships floated like gods in the heavens. Then, through audio translators, a voice echoed across the planet. This world is now under Earth's protection. You are safe. Stay down. Help is coming. The voice was cold. Human, but to those on the ground. It sounded like a promise from something ancient and powerful. Dropships landed. Human soldiers in black armor fanned out. They had no insignias, no words, only weapons, medkits, and food. The Jurakians wept. One farmer, his arms burned, grabbed a soldier's hand. You came. Why? The soldier looked down, helmet visor glowing, because no one else did. Footage spread across the galaxy within hours. People watched in horror and awe. They saw Earth's fleet destroy the Yulari attackers in seconds. No speeches, no negotiation, no hesitation, just war. The Peace Council collapsed into arguments. This is an outrage, shouted one ambassador. Earth has declared open war. They saved 1 million lives and others snapped. They broke every treaty they obeyed. A deeper law, survival. No one could stop them, and Earth wasn't listening anyway. On Veltrax, the Dominion's central world, Overlord Varikar watched the recordings in his private war chamber. Earth's ships, their silence, their precision. His claws tightened, so he said slowly, "They are awake." A younger Yulari general stepped forward. "Shall we send more ships?" "Fight them now." Varikar shook his head. "No, not yet. Earth fights like no one else. They do not attack for gain. They kill to finish a threat. He pointed at a dispersed fleet now orbiting Jurok 4. Like black suns, let them win their little battles. It won't matter when we bring the core cradle online. The general's eyes widened. The ancient weapon? Vrakar smiled. It will show Earth a death they have never seen. On the Oblivion's edge, Admiral Cade stood alone on the bridge, watching the fires below. Her officer approached. "Ma'am, do we pursue the survivors?" She shook her head. "Not yet. Let them run. Let them think they're safe." Her voice dropped. "Then we finish this." And for the first time, Earth's true warning echoed through space, not in words, but in actions. You attacked the weak. You ignored the cries. You thought Earth was gone, but Earth remembers. Earth is coming. The Dominion planet Nargol Prime was known for its weapon factories and slave mines. A blood-red world thick with smoke, its skies never saw light. Chains dragged across the ground. Metal towers reached high, spitting flames into the clouds. The Yulari Dominion used it to fuel their war machine. No one dared touch it. No one except Earth. On board the Earth flagship Oblivion's Edge, Admiral Cade stood before a massive display. Nargol's factories blinked red on the screen. Images showed prisoner camps filled with broken bodies. Slaves chained together like animals. Children working in dark pits. She didn't blink. She simply said, "We take the planet." Her voice was cold. A single order followed. Planetfall. In seconds, Earth's war fleet moved. Dropships launched. From high orbit. Black and sharp, they pierced the atmosphere like falling daggers. Thousands of them. Silent, fast, precise. The ground forces followed. Earth didn't come with parades or marching bands. It came with fire and steel. On Nargol Prime. The Yulari slave masters laughed when they first saw the Earth's dropships. "Primitive ships," one said. "They think they can breach Dominion airspace." Their anti-air towers opened fire. Missiles rose to the sky. They hit nothing. The dropships vanished. Just before impact, teleport shield tech. Earth's tech, experimental, now fully operational. Then the sky opened. Earth's ships reappeared in low atmosphere. Skimming rooftops and factories. They dropped pods that cracked open mid-air. From inside, Earth's soldiers leapt black. Armor, glowing visors, shoulder-mounted cannons, and railguns in their hands. No flags. No mercy. The Yulari guards barely had time to raise weapons. The first. Earth strike teams landed directly in the slave camps. Prisoners watched in silence as armored humans stormed through gates, cutting down Yulari overseers with perfect shots. Bullet per enemy. Heads exploded. Chains shattered. The air filled with screams not from the humans but from the Yulari. An old prisoner looked up as a towering Earth soldier cut his shackles with a plasma blade. The man had burns over half his face. He gasped. You came for us." The soldier knelt. His voice filtered through the mask. "Earth doesn't leave its people. Or anyone else." The old man wept. Across the planet, chaos exploded. Dropships landed at every major location. Factories, mines, bunkers, energy plants. Squads moved fast, using old Deathwake, tactics tunneling charges, EMP knives, orbital beam support. The Yulari soldiers tried to fight back. They died screaming in the main city of Tehran Forge. The Dominion's elite guard formed a last stand. 300 warriors, trained for years. Wearing armor blessed by Yulari priests, Earth sent 30 soldiers. That was all. The battle lasted 9 minutes. None of the Yulari survived. Inside the command dome, a high Yulari general tried to escape. His name was Vrazen. He'd overseen the slave programs for 2 decades. Now he was covered in blood and running. He reached the launch bay. It was empty. Then he heard a sound behind him. A heavy boot step. He turned a single. Earth soldiers stood. They're tall, silent. The armor gleamed black with red tracer lines. The soldier didn't speak. Vrazen begged, "I surrender. I know things I can help you." The soldier raised his weapon. "No," he said. "You can't." 1. Shot. End of story. By nightfall, Nargol Prime burned. Earth had taken the entire planet in less than 6 hours. No survivors among the minion forces. Over 2 million prisoners freed. Factory systems offline. Weapon supply chains cut. Entire fleets left powerless in the galaxy because their fuel source was gone in orbit. Admiral Cade received reports. All targets neutralized. Prisoners safe. No human casualties. She gave the order, broadcast the message. Across the galaxy, on every channel. Earth's face returned. A live feed showed the destruction of Nargle Prime. The voice came from Admiral Cade herself. To the Yulari Dominion, you have no safe world. You enslaved millions. You burned planets. You ignored every warning. Earth sees you. Earth ends you. Then she looked straight into the camera. To the rest of the galaxy, stand aside. We don't come for war. We come for justice. Stay out of our way. The feed ended. The silence that followed was louder than war. On the border worlds, refugees began painting Earth's skull symbol on their buildings. Farmers raised makeshift Earth flags. Children wore black armbands in honor of the Deathworlders. Even pirates whispered in fear. Earth had returned, but not as a member of the galaxy, not as a hero, as a force, a fury, a storm with a mission, on Veltrax, deep within the Dominion throne. Chamber's overlord Varakar slammed his claws into the table. Nargle is gone. How? His generals said nothing. He turned to a robed scientist. Is the core cradle ready? Almost, the scientist said. We just need one more element. It must come from Earth's old war vault, Varakar hissed, and we draw them in. We make them bleed. We lure their fleet into our trap. Back on Nargle Prime, Admiral Cade stood on the ruins of a Dominion command tower. The wind blew dust across her boots. She looked down at the scorched earth. Her officer asked, "Where next, ma'am?" Cade looked to the stars. They have one. Last stronghold. We take it. After that, there's only silence. She raised her hand. Ready the fleet. Earth had shown the galaxy something terrifying. They didn't fight for land or money or power. They fought to stop monsters. And when Earth fights monsters, it becomes something worse. The stars were quiet again. After the fall of Nargle Prime, the Yulari Dominion's voice had gone silent across their outer colonies. No transmissions, no responses, no threats, only static. But Earth knew the silence was not peace, was planning. The Dominion was preparing something, and Earth intended to find out what. A single coded signal from a rebel Yulari technician changed everything. He had escaped Nargle during the chaos and carried with him something rare, the location of a Dominion archival station, a hidden base known only to Yulari Command. It was said to hold the Dominion's full war logs, including black boxes from destroyed systems. These black boxes were not machines. They were living data cores or organisms, genetically designed to store memory, audio, and visual logs from entire planets. The Yulari used them to record their victories, their massacres, their sins out. Earth wanted them, because Earth wanted the truth. The fleet didn't go in guns blazing this time. Admiral Cade sent a stealth team Delta Squad, 6 operators trained for silent entry, zero light ops, and infiltration. They were ghosts. Each wore adaptive armor that bent light and sound. No one heard them coming. No one saw them leave. The station orbited a dead gas giant. It looked abandoned. No lights, no signals. But as Delta Squad landed inside, they found something worse than resistance. They found silence. No bodies. No signs of life. Just dark metal halls, red stains, and old screams echoing through the structure's memory walls. The lead operative, Callan, located the data vault. What they found made even Earth's soldiers pause. Dozens of black boxes, stacked in a sealed chamber, each one alive, pulsing, whispering. Callan sent the extraction signal. Then they heard it. Hum. The Yulari had laid a trap. Explosive charges armed. Laser mines activated. The station began to count down, but Earth's team didn't panic. Callan tapped a control device. Helix. Trigger. Override. From orbit, Earth's AI system broke into the Dominion's security code. In seconds, the lockdown lifted. The team secured 3 of the black boxes and vanished before the whole station exploded behind them. They returned to the Oblivion's edge, and what those black boxes revealed shocked the entire command. Inside the war room, Admiral Cade Helix and key officers watched the first recordings. One box showed the annihilation of the Palas, Sistema peaceful sector with no military value. The Yulari unleashed a weapon called Dark Frost, a nanobot cloud that froze every cell in a living body in seconds. 6 billion beings died screaming. Another box showed Zentha V, where the Dominion tricked local leaders into signing peace agreements, then detonated the planet's core. But the third box, this one changed everything. It held footage from Earth's own past. A secret. A betrayal. The Yulari had once tested their early weapons on Earth's colonies long before open war, back when humanity still believed in peace talks. A colony called New Santiago had gone dark 2 centuries ago. Earth assumed it was a reactor failure, but the footage showed the truth. Yulari ships had landed, burned the land, taken the children, dissected them, studied human endurance. One Yulari voice spoke clearly in the video. These Deathworlders, they will make excellent slaves once broken. Cade's eyes narrowed. Her voice turned into stone. They started this long before we knew. Helix spoke softly. The Dominion has committed 37 separate acts of genocide. We now have proof of all of them. Cade stepped forward. Then it's time to make them answer. Earth transmitted a single black box recording across the galaxy. No voiceover. Just raw, brutal footage of the Yulari slaughtering peaceful people. Billions watched. People vomited. People cried, and something began to shift. The galaxy had feared Earth's power. Now they began to understand its purpose. Earth didn't come to conquer, it came to stop monsters no one else dared touch, across dozens of neutral worlds. Hidden Yulari collaborators were arrested. Civilians raised deathwake flags above cities. Even former enemies of Earth, like the Regari and Thal factions, sent encrypted messages offering support. The Yulari Dominion was beginning to lose control. In the Dominion's core palace on Veltrax, Overlord Vrakar saw the black box footage. He didn't flinch. He only smiled. They have revealed our crimes. Good, he said. Now they will expect regret. Mercy talks. He turned to his scientist. Is the core cradle ready? The robed figure nodded. Yes, my overlord. And with Earth's signal response, we have traced their AI systems. Can strike at Helix directly. Vrakar clenched his claws. Then we break Earth the way we broke the others? He pointed to the star map. Summon every ship, every slave, every mind weapon. Let them come. Back on the Oblivion's edge, Helix detected a sudden spike in Yulari fleet movement. All their forces, Helix said. They're gathering. Near the Driatech Rift, Cade stared. That's where they want us. That's the trap, her officer asked. Do we fall for it? Cade nodded slowly. Yes. Everyone turned. We go in. But not how they expect. She looked at the war map. Prepare. The Wrath Protocol. All units, no limits. The Wrath Protocol was Earth's darkest battle code. Total fleet activation. No peace talks. No retreat. Every AI system goes live. Every weapon unlocked. No prisoners. The galaxy had never seen it until now. Earth's deadliest war fleet began to move again, not as a sword, but as a judgment, because Earth had seen the truth, and Earth does not forgive. The sky above Veltrax's capital world of the Yulari Dominion was red before Earth arrived. Its twin suns cast heat across the metallic cities, where temples of bone stood beside weapon factories. Billions of Yulari marched in perfect order, soldiers in black armor, war beasts in cages, slave workers buried deep beneath the ground. It was a planet built for war. It's proud and untouched for over 1,000 years. But that changed the moment the sky cracked open. A single black line appeared above the clouds, then another, then hundreds, thousands. Earth's full fleet had arrived. Inside, the Yulari command fortress, Overlord Varakar, stood before a wall of living glass. His generals watched in horror as Earth's ships filled the sky. They came from every angle above the clouds, from behind the moons, even from hyperspace portals. Near the upper stratosphere, they brought their entire fleet, one general said. Varakar didn't blink. As expected, he pressed his claw to a control crystal. The core cradle, hidden beneath the crust of Veltrax, began to awaken. An ancient Yulari weapon, part machine, part thought, part god. Its pulse made the ground tremble. We will crush. Their AI burn their ships, shatter their minds. He looked up. Let them bring the fire. We are the storm. On board Oblivion's edge, Admiral Cade stood in the central command chamber, staring down at the planet below. Enemy defenses? She asked. Helix responded. Full orbital batteries. 200,000 surface-to-space cannons. 70. Plasma shields. Core energy signature detected. Something new. Cade nodded. Prepare wrath. The screen turned red. Every ship, drone, railgun, orbital cannon, a nanostrike system in Earth's fleet came online in one synchronized hum. No. War horns. No anthem. Just deadly silence. Before the strike, Cade raised her hand. Fire. It began like the end of time. From orbit, Earth launched spear beams, columns of energy that could pierce kilometers of rock. The first wave struck Yulari planetary shields, shattering them like glass. The next wave hit orbital towers, command stations, drone launchers. The sky caught fire. The second wave followed. Kinetic rods, tungsten strikes, traveling at near light speed. They fell from orbit like metal rain, slamming into cities with nuclear force. Each hit turned entire blocks into craters. The Dominion answered. Anti-air defenses roared. Plasma streaked into the sky. Earth's drones exploded mid-air. But 4. Every human drone destroyed. 10 more filled the gap. Earth's Phase 5 AI swarm ships engaged tiny fighters with no pilots. It's just algorithms written to kill. They moved like insects, fast and erratic. Weaving between blasts and targeting energy signatures, they shut down 1/3 of Veltrax's defenses in 27 seconds. Then Earth dropped its soldiers. Thousands of Deathwake troopers landed. Across Veltrax's heavy black armor, heat-resistant boots, and magnetic rail cannons. Their orders were simple. Hit everything that breathes and bears the Dominion mark. They moved in squads of 5. They carried enough firepower to level fortresses. Yulari. Soldiers fought back with rage, but they had never faced warriors who trained. On the deadliest world in the galaxy. Earth soldiers didn't hesitate. They didn't shout. They aimed, fired, moved. One Yulari commander screamed, "They don't retreat. They don't bleed." An Earth soldier replied with a grenade launcher. In the underground slave pits, prisoners heard the fighting above. Explosions shook the walls. One alien child whispered, "Are they here?" A deep voice answered from the shadows, "Yes." An Earth trooper cut through the steel wall and stepped inside. He raised his rifle, scanned the chamber, then deactivated. His helmet filter. "You're safe now." The prisoners didn't believe it at first, but then others came, more humans. More weapons, food, blankets, medical nanopets. Tears followed. The word spread through the pit cities like light. Earth came. Back on the surface, something darker stirred. From the planet's crust, the core cradle activated. It rose from the ground like a black tower, shaped like a spiral claw. Energy screamed from its heart, ripping the sky, jamming communication. Burning sensors. Earth's fleet began to flicker. Systems failed. Ships. Kada stuttered. Cade narrowed her eyes. MP pulse. Helix replied with a glitch. No, it's alive. The core cradle wasn't just a weapon. It was a sentient machine of mind that fed on fear and sound. A weapon built to erase thought itself. Earth had no defense for it, until Cade did the unthinkable. She stepped into the command pod and connected directly to Helix. You're crashing. Helix, I see the light. I cannot. Cade's voice turned to steel. Use my mind. Link into me. Override the cradle. There was silence then. Helix whispered. Link complete. And Earth's AI lit up again, but now it carried her thoughts. Her rage, her memories of Earth's darkest wars. Helix changed. It evolved. It turned into something stronger. A fusion of human pain and artificial precision, and it fought back. The entire Earth fleet surged forward again. Crippled ships rebooted. Drones reactivated. Targeting locked in. Earth's Omega-class destroyers powered up their forbidden weapons dimensional phase missiles and gravity inversion bombs. The Dominion screamed across their emergency channels, but it was too late. The sky above Veltrax burned. Entire cities vanished. The core cradle screamed once, then cracked. Its walls shattered. Its eye melted in raw code. The ground beneath Veltrax shook as reactors failed and power cores ruptured. Overlord. Verkar stared at the sky from his final bunker. He saw Earth's flagship hovering above, black and silent. Then a beam of light cut down. No more words, just justice. When the fires cleared, Veltrax was quiet. Not dead, but broken. The Dominion's capital had fallen, their fleets destroyed, their voice silenced. Admiral Cade stood aboard Oblivion's edge, staring. At the world below, her officer asked, Is it over? She didn't answer right away. Then, no, not until the last Overlord falls. But the galaxy had seen enough. News spread like wildfire. Earth had shattered the unshattered Able. Veltrax, the untouchable heart of the Dominion, was gone. The Deathworlders had made their point. If you burn the stars, Earth will burn your skies, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Veltrax burned behind them. Ash still drifted in orbit. The fires hadn't gone out. Great cities, once home to the proud Yulari Dominion, were now black scars across a red planet. Earth's fleet hovered above the wreckage in silence.
Ow.
No victory. Songs, no speeches, just cold silence. They hadn't come for glory. They came to finish what had started. But deep inside the shattered world, one Yulari escaped. Overlord Verkar, bruised and burned, climbed aboard a cloaked escape cruiser hidden. Beneath the old temples, his claws shook. His eyes glowed with madness. He looked back only once at the sky above, and whispered, Earth will follow. Let them. I'll show them what true extinction means. He wasn't fleeing. He was activating the end plan. On board the Oblivion's edge, Admiral Cade stood alone. In the war chamber, her skin was pale, her body weak from the neural link with Helix. Doctors begged her to rest. She refused. Helix's voice echoed from the ceiling. Verkar has escaped. He's headed for the Shadow Verge, an uncharted region beyond galactic space. Cade nodded. What's there? Unknown, but he carries an artifact. It glows with the same signature as the core cradle, something older, stronger. The war room fell silent. Then Cade gave the order. Activate Wrath Protocol. Officers froze. Everyone in the room knew what that meant. It wasn't just a battle plan. It was Earth's final line, the war doctrine created for galaxy-ending threats. It authorized the use of everything? No. Rules, no restrictions, no survivors. Wrath Protocol wasn't just a fleet formation, it was a transformation. All of Earth's AI systems merged with Helix under a new combat brain called Warsong. Ships changed shape. Engines rerouted. Weapons that had been locked for centuries came online. Earth's Apocalypse-class carriers, the size of a city, rose from storage bunkers near Neptune. They hadn't flown in 300 years. There, Activation alone darkened orbit for 10 seconds. Commanders from the old wars were recalled. Humanity's deadliest assets were awakened: Project Thorn, Void Paladins, the Harrow Protocol, and one name returned from the shadows: Talon. A cybernetically enhanced strike team of 5 war survivors, lost 4 decades in deep sleep. Now, awakened by Wrath Command, they were not soldiers. They were weapons shaped like people. While Earth's fleet turned toward the Shadow Verge, panic spread across the galaxy. Governments begged Earth to stop. "Let the last Yulari flee," cried one alien leader. "The war is over." But Earth didn't answer. Earth never replies when Wrath is active. Deep in the Shadow Verge, Verkar reached his destination. A dark moon, hollow, dead on the outside, alive on the inside. He entered a chamber of ancient machines, black metal, pulsing like veins, floating crystals spinning in frozen gravity. At the center stood the artifact, a black cube, humming with echoes of extinct galaxies. It had a name carved and lost: Yulari script, the Alsunder. Verkar raised it, and the stars trembled. Earth's fleet reached the outer edge of the verge. Beyond this point, no maps existed. No signals escaped. Ships that entered had never returned. Cade stood on the bridge, staring into the swirling dark ahead. "Helix," she said. "Is Warsong fully online?" "Yes," the AI replied. "But something is interfering. I detect anti-reality waves. The verge is unstable." She tightened her grip, pushed through. As Earth entered the verge, the galaxy watched. Billions stared at silent feeds, drones, sensor relays. Long range comes. Nothing came back. Only static. Then the screen flashed once. A simple line of human text appeared across every screen, every planet, every ship. "Wrath Protocol engaged. Earth moves." And then everything went black. Inside the Shadow Verge, light bent sideways. Earth's ships shook under pressure. No physics could explain, but they held, because they were built for madness. And as the fleet broke into the hollow moon, they saw the final stage of Rakares' madness. He stood at the center of a new machine larger than the core cradle, powered by the Alsunder. The air screamed. He shouted, "I will erase you, Deathworlders. I will erase Earth from time." Cade's voice cut through the static. "No, you won't." She gave the order. "All units, fire everything." It was not a battle. It was a purge. Thousands of weapons fired at once. Phase cannons, dimension shifters, reality stitch missiles. Talon team dropped directly into the core chamber. They tore through the defenders like ghosts of war. Verkar tried to activate the Alsunder, but Warsong had already hacked it. Earth had rewritten the machine's code. Instead of destroying Earth, it turned on its master. Verkar screamed. As his own weapon unraveled him cell by cell, memory by memory, then he was gone. So was the machine. And then, silence. Outside the Shadow Verge, the stars returned. Signals resumed. Earth's fleet emerged. But it was different. Its ships burned with strange new energy. Its recarried memories of places beyond time. Cade had changed. Her eyes glowed faintly. With something not human, she gave one final order. "Wrath Protocol complete. Stand down." The galaxy breathed again. And Earth. Earth went quiet. Its fleets returned home. Its war systems shut down. Its soldiers vanished into the shadows. But the message was carved into the stars now. Do not awaken the monsters of Earth, because if they rise, they will finish it forever. The war was over. The skies across the galaxy were quiet. No more Dominion fleets. No more screaming weapons. No more broken planets. Earth had crushed the Yulari. Every overlord was gone. Every slave world was free, for the first time in centuries. Peace returned, but it wasn't the kind of peace anyone expected. It was a heavy, cold peace, the kind that comes after something terrible, and before something worse, because Earth didn't celebrate. Earth disappeared. No official broadcast came after Wrath Protocol shut down. No parades. No declarations. The Deathworlders, who had brought fire to the stars, returned to Earth in silence. Their ships re-entered orbit, vanished into their fortified bunkers beneath the oceans and inside dead mountains. Millions of eyes watched, billions waited. But Earth said nothing. It simply went dark. No trade, no diplomacy, no visitors allowed. Every moonbase went offline, the solar gates shut. The Deathwake symbol once spread like wildfire across. Rebel colonies was now banned in several regions. Alien governments feared it. Even those who cheered Earth's victories whispered nervously. Because if Earth could do that to the Dominion, what would stop them next time? On the outer colony of Vesifor, an alien reporter stood before a shattered Ulari fortress. Behind her, broken bones and human-made battle, ruins littered the ground. Her voice trembled on the live broadcast. We stand here in what was once the most feared military stronghold in the galaxy, brought to dust in under 3 days. Earth came. Saw Earth destroyed. She paused, looking at the sky. But now, Earth has gone quiet. Too quiet. In the Galactic Peace Council chambers, arguments boiled. Earth must be brought back into regulation, one ambassador yelled. They cannot simply leave, another responded. And who will make them obey? You, a third stood slowly, an old alien general. He had fought in the first contact wars long ago. He said only this: you don't wake a sleeping Death Worlder. Not twice. No one argued with that. Meanwhile, under Earth's crust, deep beneath the surface of Greenland, inside a vault sealed. Since before the last galactic war, something began to stir. Old machines clicked to life. Lights flickered inside steel coffins. A terminal activated. On the screen, threat nullified. Protocol W Omega. Sleep phase complete. But instead of powering down, it asked for a command. New threat detected. Unknown source.
Ow.
The vault door pulsed once. No alarms. No sirens. Just a heartbeat sound. Something had awakened, and not from outside Earth. From within. At the same time, Admiral Cade sat alone in a sealed black chamber under the Arctic Circle. She had not spoken to another human in weeks. Her body was recovering from the neural fusion with Helix. Her mind was not the same. She could still hear Warsong, even now. It whispered, not in words, but in warnings. She stared at a hologram flickering before her. A scan of Earth's inner core, anomaly, movement, signals. She whispered to herself, we've been looking out there for threats. She leaned forward, forgot to look down. On the moon, Earth's last observation outpost detected a ripple in gravitational pattern, something rising from Earth's mantle. Not a weapon, not an alien, something old, something human. Before the signal cut out, the operator sent one final message. It's waking up. At the far edge of the galaxy, in a hidden system where only black site data was stored, Helix opened a private file. Only one line of classified text was revealed. If Earth ever falls silent, listen closely, not for peace, but for the sound of something far worse getting ready. And so the galaxy waited. They thought the war had ended. They thought Earth had saved them. But in truth, Earth had only fought one side of a bigger war. The Ulari were just the beginning. Now, something buried, something built before memory. It opened its eyes, and this time wasn't vengeance driving Earth. It was survival. Because even monsters have nightmares, and Earth had just heard one whisper from below.